it's been one of those ones that we tried to find a way of doing since quite early on, because it's such an obvious thing to parody, and never quite found the sort of format that fitted with it. And suddenly this year it's come together, and we've got 3 of them. Great.
It's great. And Matt, how did you find that? You were apart from the corpsing,
I had a bit of trouble towards the end, corpsing wise, but otherwise it's another day at the office.
And what's it a bit like? You were talking. I mean, obviously there's a time pressure in getting the sketches done. I mean, what's that like for you as an actor? Is it?
There are 2 sides to it. On the one hand, obviously you always sort of wish for more time as a perfectionist. And we do, we shoot a lot more episodes in a space of time than you ordinarily would. But the other side to that is it affords a spontaneity that you don't usually have. You don't sit around on this show. If you're sitting, it's because someone's gluing a beard to your face, and then you're back on. So you have to make very quick character choices, and you know that the filming of a sketch isn't going to be all day long, so you can make a big bold choice, and you're not faced with the prospect of 5 hours later going, oh, this is tiring now. I shouldn't have gone for something so big, or whatever it may be. So that spontaneity makes the show is a really big part of it, I think.
And also, it's very easy to rehearse the fun out of a joke.
Yeah.
To the point that when you're filming it, it's no longer funny to you, and it's very then hard to kind of imbue it with a sense of fun. Whereas on this, we haven't got to that point by the time we're filming it. But by the time we start, by the time we're on the final angle, sometimes some of them have got their sheen taken off. But
it's very rare on this as compared to most other shows.
How do you use particularly where you've got a role in this sketch which is sort of secondary, find your way into that? Is it you're just taking it straight off the page, as it were?
I've often the great thing about doing this show is the variety of it. So that sometimes the most fun ones are little one-line parts where because we always look quite funny, so often
your first laugh is just you're walking in.
You just walk in looking like that, say His Majesty, and
also one of the ways we work together is a bit of sort of making each other laugh competition. And sometimes if you've only got one line, then there's a really good excuse to do something with it, which is basically like coming in and dropping a hand grenade and walking out again.
No, it's a privilege really. It's getting to come and play, you don't often get to take. Well, I try not to take advantage of the fact that people are more likely to book me than they used to be. But on this occasion, it's getting to come. If you were a fan of anything, you'd want to come and play. And that's
you get to wear that wig.
I get to wear this wig, but I do. I mean, because I'm a huge fan of the show. I have to say that I was really pleased when it got the British Comedy Award for Best Sketch Show, because I think this and a couple of other things are the best sketch comedy that the country's been producing for a few years, and the fact that people have missed that because it's on children's telly, but it's got just. It's got some of the best comic actors and writers in the country are working on these shows, and people have missed it. They've got the sense of it now. They're beginning to get it at the 3 series in how good this is, and hopefully that will spill over to rival shows like Sorry I've Got No Head and Big Babies and stuff, which are they're great. I think it's fantastic. That's what I think.
Give me some highlights from this series.
The things that tend to stand out, the odd moments where it's something I haven't written and I'm not in, and I'm just watching it, and I'm completely enjoying it for what it is. I really enjoyed watching the bit Matt Stanner-Sommer's Darwin with a heavy David Bowie slant,
that sounds
which
great.
Was really, really fun to watch. Jim aboard a ship on the top of a hill in Chessington, dressed as a chimpanzee playing the drums. It's little moments like that where you go, is this a job?
Oh right.
Is this a job?
Yeah. It was the day I received the direction, now ride your monk. sticks out.
Yeah, we got to ride
Dressed
monks
as a
around.
pirate on a hill near Chessington World of Adventures, riding a monk.
Well, the guy who carried Simon around was actually a strong man. He was like,
He
had a
held-
world record.
He
for
held the
something.
record for carrying two men over a certain distance.
So Simon's like 6'3".
Gosh, I hope he's
There's no
recognised
flies
credit
on
for
that,
something
like
like
I
that.
say.
Different record for willing men and unwilling men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Distance.
I like to sit
Stands
round
out.
the monitor when you know the odd times where time allows and you're not in makeup and you're not on set. It's really nice to just sit there sometimes and just watch other people's performance
Yeah.
and see. Particularly, we'll sit through in a rehearsal week and read through the scripts and see what's been done with that. Just the little moments which aren't on the page. They're my favourite thing are the sketches that I've written but not in. I love watching those go out because it makes you feel really good because there's always at least 10 laughs in it which have nothing to do with you, but which you can rightfully then take the credit for and go, yeah, it's just a brilliant
So am I.
sketch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what I intended them to do.
And the prom was fantastic. I mean, how was all that to do? I mean, it seemed
It was.
took it to a new level again. The whole
Yeah,
thing.
it was
Mm.
wild. I mean, that was the first and only instance where we've really been shown or come to understand what the show means to
Mm.
people and how many people love it. And we were talking earlier about the fact there was a family of 4 who travelled down from Scotland to queue up to get promise tickets. You know, they didn't even know that they
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be able to get in, and that just
Mm.
that's mind blowing. Because if you bump into someone in the street, it's that one person, and it's lovely. But to have a crowd of people en masse turn up and scream and go
Dress
crazy and
up.
sing along to all the songs,
They
you
Yeah.
suddenly
they made
realise
t-shirts
what this
on
show
them.
means.
They made
Brilliant.
T-shirts. 'cause
Yeah,
somebody was
people
saying that.
That's
dressed
a
as
recognition factor picked up
paramedics
a bit. I mean, it must have.
definitely.
Because you're always in
Hugely, yeah.
costume, wasn't you?
Well, I think I was always surprised by that because you kind of think you're always unrecognisable. And
Actually,
But you
what
do
it,
dress like that in normal life.
I mean, I really like being recognised in the street, so I wear a lot of historical clothing
actually
and a beard.
it seems to work in the reverse, actually, because they're so used to seeing us in a variety of guises.
Yeah.
There is nothing we could possibly do to hide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can't go the Hollywood route
Yeah,
of
yeah.
putting
Beard
a
and
cap on.
glasses.
You
Yeah.
can't grow a beard and hope they won't recognise it. There is no escape. You will be double taked by children every
That's
time you walk into a shop.
What's the most bizarre thing that a child has said to you? Come across.
Well, there was a visitor to set a couple of years ago, a little boy who sort of just stood next to me for a while, not saying anything, just staring up. And I sort of waited for him to speak, and eventually he piped up and said, "So, do you live in this world?"
That's fantastic.
And that was just the most
So sweet,
brilliant.
wasn't it?
How old was he?
I think he was 4 or 5.
Brilliant.
I liked being told I was someone's second favourite.
Oh,
No, I genuinely love that because only a kid would say that, and in this
Yeah.
cast, I take that as a huge compliment.
Yeah.
I'll always take that.
Oh,
You're
very
brilliant, you're
sorry.
my second favourite. Thank you.
You do that thing of saying, "Oh, so you like the show? What's your favourite sketch?" And it will always
Be one you're not in.
Yeah.
And where will it all go from here, do you think, oral histories? I mean, do you just want to keep going and going? I mean, for kids, they just want more and more, don't
Well,
they?
we've got the whole of history to pick from, so it's sort of a subject matter that shouldn't really run out.
Hmm. I think it
And
would
now
be,
that we're free, we were working from the books for the first 3 series.
yeah,
and kind of all of those facts have been mined, so there's a lot more original research going into it now, which is throwing up some really excellently weird and wonderful facts that
Right.
you
Is
know,
it
so-
like the
so the source
university
material's
syllabus by
expanded.
now, surely?
There's a huge,
Track.
certainly I had to go and meet a friend at the Sussex University campus, and I didn't. When you walk past a school, you kind of expect, and you put your head down a bit, and you kind of try not to get spotted by one, because if one spots you, it's like something out of what's the film where they all go Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Suddenly they all go, "Ah!" But I wasn't expecting it on the university campus. But yeah, the following.
Well, you
that
weren't
sort
expecting
of-
students to recognise you from kids.
I know. I realise how naive I am now that I've seen it.